to MentorMe Memorable Moments. We are excited to be here tonight.
Yes,
this
we
is
are.
our physical health segment.
Physical health.
All right. Okay, so we want to say hello to 150 nations in all 50 states. You're probably viewing us through listenvisionlive.com or mentorme411.com. This is our physical health segment, and I am your host, Tracy Everette Duncan. William is taking the night off, but that's okay. He doesn't control the physical health program.
Yep.
Coach D does. So
Hey,
welcome.
hey. Thank you. Welcome.
She is my co-host tonight. And so we, again, thank you for joining us. And we've got two segments going. So if you haven't connected with us out in social media, because we're always pushing these segments out so you'll know what we're going to be discussing, then go to our website, mentorme411.com, and you'll see our profiles. You can send an email to any one of us. Your email is private, and you can connect with us that way. And also, we'll be giving out our social media information at the end of the program. So let's begin the first half with me. Okay, we're going to be talking about the heart, and it is having a healthy heart. Be anxious for nothing. And I know that some of you are out there going through it. And you're experiencing some things and something's happening to your body. You're not quite understanding what's going on. Well, I'm going to try and break it down for you from an anxiety perspective. I'm not going to talk about anything else. We're going to be talking about your anxious heart and getting it regulated well. So let's turn to the first slide, please. Thanks, Mike. Okay, so anxiety and the development of heart disease. Scientists have said that the association between anxiety and heart disease has not been fully studied as a relationship between depression and heart disease. So let me ask you this question. You're feeling a tightness in the chest, a shortness of the breath, you're getting lightheaded, you're feeling sweaty. Do you think you're having a heart attack?
Those symptoms sound familiar,
They
like
sure
a heart attack,
do.
but
You could be having a anxiety attack or a panic disorder, a panic attack.
Yes.
You know, and you feel it like it's thumping really fast. You can't catch your breath. You're losing or getting foggy memory.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh, my
all the
goodness.
symptoms of a heart attack, but it's not.
not a heart
It's an
attack.
anxiety attack. So next slide, please.
yes.
Okay, so when we look at this slide, we can see a lot of the wordings that are associated with anxiety.
Yes.
Panic,
Stress,
phobia,
worry,
depression.
anxiety.
I mean, we could go on and on and on, but there's some things too, like the headache that you get, the nervousness that you feel, the pressure that you feel. You're also frustrated.
uneasiness.
Yes,
Tension.
yes, exactly.
Ooh.
All
Can anybody relate?
you know, hello.
right
Where's the
here.
bell? Ding,
Right.
ding, ding, ding. I tell you, next slide, please.
Wow.
So when we're looking at the anxiety attacks, we want to define so that you clearly understand that anxiety is an emotional state in which you feel uneasy, apprehensive, like all those wonderful words we use.
Yes.
You're fearful as well. And that anxiety is about, thank you very much. I need that. You may feel anxiety about events you're not able to control or predict, or about events that are, they seem threatening and dangerous. You know, that flight versus fight syndrome. All that plays into this too. And anxiety brings a feeling of vulnerability. Severe anxiety can persist and become emotionally and physically disabling, like paralyzing.
Yes.
Just like you shared. You know,
I
you want to share
shared,
real
yes.
quick what we were talking about?
Yes. Some years ago, I believe I was in my early 30s, and I didn't know at the time that it was a panic attack, anxiety correlated, they're related. And I was going to this event, and I called them. I'm on my way. I'll be there in a few minutes. And they knew I didn't live far from the location. So I was in my car, and it's like all of a sudden this paralyzing feeling came over me. And I sat there, and I was just like, it was like almost like I couldn't move. It wasn't like something pulling me back, but in my mind, I was like, get up, you got to get out the car, you got to go. But it was like, no, I can't. I just have to sit here. And I sat there for an hour. They were looking for me. They kept calling. I wouldn't answer the phone.
Wow.
And then finally I got out of my car and I went up there, and it was like, where were you? We were just worried. And I didn't know that this was what was happening to me. And so years later, I'm talking to other people, going over the research like you're presenting here. And I was like, I was having an anxiety attack.
Wow.
I was
Wow.
having a serious anxiety attack.
So was something going on in your life at the time that would trigger this?
I just believe with I shared on the show before of interviewing me of my life story, if you
Okay.
will, that insecurities, just fear of really. I think it's something you may not believe it, but I think I'm an introvert, really.
Oh, okay.
But I do love people. I love being out when I'm in my moment, when I'm
Right.
doing my, in my purpose. But after that, I prefer to be home.
Right.
And so it was that thought of being around all these
Oh,
people,
my
and it was like,
gosh.
no. And I knew these people. It wasn't like I'm going around strangers, but at that moment, it just felt just paralyzing. I just no motionless tension. It was, yeah.
So I know you're thinking about this too. There are moments in your life where you felt just so paralyzed. You couldn't move, you couldn't speak, you couldn't say anything. You really couldn't even think very clearly, and you maybe not understood what was going on with you, but you could possibly have been having an anxiety attack.
Wow.
So let's look at the next slide. What's it like to experience anxiety? Well, this is a feeling where you stay up at night and you stare at the ceiling, asking yourself infinite number of questions, whatever those questions are. And then you sit and you debate with yourself. I mean, you're having this wonderful conversation with yourself about whatever it is that's troubling you at the time.
That's what I was. That number one.
That whole
that was
hour,
that.
that
Yeah,
was it?
Yeah, that was it.
You're also feeling where you wonder when you wonder who truly cares about you or who's just using you. And I know that a lot of that is going on too.
Yes.
People make friends too quickly, and I have to question sometimes, why are you here in my circle or wanting to be in my circle?
And then we have to look at ourselves. Is it an acceptance thing? Do I want people to accept me?
Right.
But it's like when you know who you are and whose you are, you
doesn't
realize
matter.
it doesn't matter. Everybody's not for you. So you're right. Why are you in my life?
Right. Exactly. And then also you wonder, are you good enough? Can you bring it like they want you to bring
Absolutely.
it? Or do you have
Absolutely.
some doubt within yourself?
Yes.
But also when we're looking at experiencing anxiety, these are times when we feel like we're getting frustrated because it's physically impossible to be 100%.
100% all the time.
Like somebody said, bring it 100,
Yes.
or you're 100. That's
We
too
can
much
get we
pressure.
can get close to it, but
100.
It's not, yeah,
No,
yeah,
that's too
yeah.
much pressure
Too
on
much.
you. And so when you do it the first time, and maybe it was a fluke, or maybe you practice, and got it
Absolutely.
down, and you got that 100%. Now
to keep
everybody's
it up.
expecting it.
Absolutely, to keep it up.
Exactly.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, now you got that pressure on yourself. Oh, bless your heart. And then you're feeling that you're questioning your value, your worth, your pride, yourself, everything you think. You overthink.
Overthink.
You
Oh,
overthink
yes.
the overthink.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Can I
Oh,
do
my
it? How
gosh.
do I do it? And you got to plan it succinctly and get it right. And
Yes.
if you don't,
Yes.
then you think that you're going to embarrass yourself.
absolutely.
Okay, we go
Absolutely.
through it. So you just wonder, I don't know where I am to go, who I am, or what I can do anymore. You start self-doubting.
And that's too much pressure.
It is.
Day to day. That's too much.
So you want to know what anxiety looks like in your body? Next slide, please.
Yes.
I know you can feel this tremor that
This
goes
looks.
on.
Oh my gosh! Yes. The next slide.
This has been me
is-
pretty
oh,
well.
what?
Next slide, Mike.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
How you're shaking, you're vibrating. Even within yourself, you may look calm and cool on the outside, but inside
Yes,
you're terrorized.
yes,
You know.
oh my gosh.
Your mind is constantly racing.
The trembling. Yes. Sweating or shivering.
Your
Oh,
vision gets blurred.
What did I talk about? Wanting to run.
Yeah.
Wanting to run.
Oh,
Avoidance.
right,
That's my thing.
That's
Avoidance.
right.
Yes.
These are all what anxiety does to your body on a physical level. And with all of this, that heart is important because now that heart is racing. It is not beating to the
Palpitations.
tune that it should be regulated with.
Absolutely.
It's just scared. It's afraid. Next slide, please.
And you think about the long term of these anxiety when you're going through anxiety, the long-term effect it could have on your heart.
Right. Oh my gosh, the damage. You're going to
The
tell
damage.
us about
Oh
that.
yes, but just think of that. Think of that.
Okay, so look at there are 4 types of anxiety disorder, and this is one, the panic disorder. So anxiety and panic could be simultaneous.
Yes.
That's very
Closely
similar.
related. Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
So you've got the feeling of terror that strikes suddenly and repeatedly without any warning, and these attacks could be like the chest pains, the palpitations, irregular heartbeats. I would even say maybe it creates heart murmurs at some time
Yes.
because it tears at
Absolutely.
the pieces of the heart, and that you're feeling like you're choking. Have you ever waken out of your sleep choking and gasping for air? It could feel like you're going crazy. You're not going crazy.
going
This is
crazy.
real. This is happening to you. You're having a panic attack. Next slide, please. And we look at the social phobia.
Which I'm sure people can relate to this one, the social phobia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
whether it's going to a dance, a party, a jam, whatever, or whether it's on social media, you're still having this overwhelming worry or self-consciousness about your everyday social situations. They often center around people judging you, or you think they're trying to judge you. You think they're ridiculing you. You can't stand being embarrassed. You know, you just can't do it. I cannot tell you how many people we have invited to come on to this program.
Oh,
and
and
at the last minute, you either don't hear from them, or they come up with an excuse.
Excuse?
They don't want to do it because of a
Absolutely.
social phobia.
Yes, and I don't care who we are. The best of the people. I mean, those people you think, oh, they got it all together under control. They probably go through some of
Oh,
this
yes.
like any of us go
Absolutely.
through. Some of us have different levels of coping with it. Others do not.
Oh, and you can. Well, let me. I was about to say they gravitate to the wine and the liquor. You know, that's their coping mechanism.
Or some
But,
people
you know,
eating.
Yes, that's
some people
right.
sleeping.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Or they just talk. They
This-
excessively.
Exactly.
They just talk.
I don't know.
Okay.
You think I talk
No,
a lot?
I don't think so. I think that is your personality. Well, like you said, then it shuts off at a certain time. Okay.
Absolutely.
You have to rejuvenate. I understand. So we're looking at generalized anxiety disorder, and that's an excessiveness or an unrealistic worry. Nothing's really happening, but you're just worried that something will happen or that something is happening. But truly, nothing is really happening. So that GAD has got that grip on you, and it's choking the very life out of you, causing anxiety disorders. And one more
to go.
is the specific phobias. These are intense fears. These are situations where you're afraid of flying, because you think that plane's going to drop out of the sky and it's all over.
Right.
You're afraid of the little things, you know, but you grow them into big things, and it's really not there. It's just a phobia
And then
that
it
you're
has
having.
you to avoid common everyday situations.
Oh,
Remember
yes.
talking about that word avoidance?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't seem to walk into the room. Instead of going into the conference room to sit down and have a meeting in person and present, you'd rather dial in on a conference call.
Can I call in?
Yes, exactly. Or they make it available for you to call in. You don't even tell them that you're going to do it. You just dial in anyway. You
I'll
got
put it
the
on
slides.
mute. Did someone just get on the phone? I'm quiet. I'm not going to say a word. They don't need to know.
Exactly. So that is the social phobias. And if you look at some of the little pictures to the left of that slide, you'll see that people have phobias in going to the dentist's office.
Oh, yeah. I used to until they've updated technology, you know, with the cleaning and stuff. I was one of those
Exactly.
people.
I guess they hear that drill
Yes,
buzzing in their
yes.
head and think that something is tearing their mouth up, you
Absolutely,
know, or they're
absolutely.
afraid of rodents or insects. Or
Oh, and
just
people,
little
it's
things.
spiders and snakes. People are afraid of those things. So, yeah, have those
A
phobias
grown man
of a baby
jumped-
spider.
I'm glad
Sorry,
William's
guys.
not here.
He would have been defending the guys, the fellas. But sorry, guys.
Okay, so if we could go to the next slide, please. We're going to look at symptoms of this anxiety disorder and why we have partnered it with physical health.
Yes, yes. Because it starts on the inside.
Yes,
It's
it
always
does.
the inside leading on the outside.
Yes. Remember, it's emotional. So to the left of this table, we say that these symptoms resemble that of a heart attack, feeling of
Absolutely.
panic, fear, and uneasiness, cold or sweaty hands and feet, shortness of breath, nausea, dizziness. Some are blurred eyes, just heart palpitations, things like that. But when you look to the right side, you see the physical effects of anxiety disorder, problems sleeping, like sleep apnea, or you just can't sleep at all, insomnia, and then the muscle tension. That right there would be my little
The muscle
fault.
tension,
Yes,
yeah.
because when I get anxious, then I start clenching. My whole body clenches.
Well, mine is the third one, not being able to chill and be calm. It's like, okay, got to find some things to do.
Oh,
How about
right.
that laundry? How about
Okay.
washing those dishes? It's like a boom, 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 walking,
Wow.
moving
And then
all
we
around.
look at dry mouth and numbness or tingling in the hands or feet. And
Wow.
so, you know what, Coach D, when we look at these things, we say, okay, this is associated with anxiety disorder,
Right.
but not so for everything, because the dry mouth can be associated with what they think is diabetes.
Yep, absolutely.
The numbling and
numbling
tingling?
could be a stroke.
Yes,
it could be a
yes,
stroke. yes.
exactly.
Even the dizziness that
Yeah,
could be
that's
related
right.
with diabetes too.
That's
right.
right.
Mhm.
That's
Nausea could be related with a heart attack.
The muscle tensions,
Muscle tensions.
Formalgia. Oh Lord, I can't even say
You
the
got
word.
me on that one.
Okay, you know what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
they do.
All right,
Call us up and tell us.
And so this is what we were talking about at the beginning of the program. That these diagnoses or these symptoms get diagnosed incorrectly.
Misdiagnosed.
That's the word.
Yes,
Misdiagnosed. So it's
absolutely.
really not the doctor's fault all the time.
It's about you knowing you.
That's right.
You should know your own body. When those doctors tell you information, do your research. Don't just
Right.
accept it and say, okay, doc, you're right. And then when it's wrong, you're fussing at the doctor. No, be your own advocate.
Right. That's right.
Be your own advocate.
And stop looking at those commercials, because we talked about that too.
You take one for, well, give me something. What's a commercial that's out there?
I'm not going to say.
Okay,
but-
so any one of those. But then if you notice, guys, if you're looking at those commercials, it'll go and say, these are the side effects. And then again, think about it. And then you're going to have to take medicine for those side effects.
That's right.
And then you're going to take medicine for the side effect of the
for
side
the
effect.
side effects. Yes. Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. I'm telling you, the pharmaceutical industry is rich.
Oh, yes.
Maybe we need to invest in the
Invest.
pharmaceutical.
Invest in it. Yes.
Absolutely. Oh,
Next
my gosh.
slide, please. So what we want to tell you is don't panic. Seek medical help, because that's the only way you're going to get the proper diagnosis. And it's going to take some time.
Take
You know,
some time.
doctors are human too, but know
Absolutely.
yourself. And if you don't agree with the diagnosis, then you need to talk about them and tell them, no, I'm not taking that. I don't believe that I have
Absolutely.
that.
Doctor, is there something else? Do you have anything else that I can do as
Right.
opposed to taking this medication? But
So when we're looking
Sometimes-
at the panic attack and seeking medical assistance, then we're looking at the mental health, because this is an emotional thing. And so something's going on in your head, in your brain, that is causing you to feel anxious.
Absolutely.
And it could be triggers, that something that happened a long time in your past
yes.
that you have suppressed, and
That's-
you've been able to really move and operate and function in the environment without any indication
Yes.
that that has
It lied
happened to
dormant
you. That's
until
right.
something happened.
Something triggers it. Yes. I tell you. Okay, I will share.
transparency time.
Yes. My grandson, you know, he's having difficulty adjusting in school. And he's exhibiting the same behavior that my son exhibited when he was in school.
Wow.
And around that age, before that age. And all this week, oh my gosh, I have been calling my grandson by my son, saying, get over here.
Yes. Isn't
it's
that
like, oh
something?
my goodness,
Yes.
you are triggering me. So
Yes.
maybe I need to
Oh,
go see
deja
a
vu.
therapist. Yes. Oh my Lord. But the thing about it is, what he's triggering is one of the mental health disorders, which is ADHD, ADD combination with
Right.
special consideration, short-term memory.
Right.
Okay. Oh Lord, we're going to have a whole
Ooh,
show on
wow.
that one. 'cause
Yes, that's
I
gonna be a
have
good
notes.
one. Right.
Yes. But you could have something that's triggering a past event, and you need to talk to a mental health therapist, a
Yes.
psychiatrist, a psychologist, a life coach, somebody that'll help you pull that information out.
Yes.
But let's say you don't want to go to see a mental health therapist, or you go and see one and they say, well, nothing's wrong, nothing's triggering. We don't see or find anything with you from our questionnaire and an evaluation. Then the next person you want to go to is a physical health doctor and have him perform or her perform.
Right.
Her perform.
Her, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Perform
An exam.
examinations on you, and they'll start from the head to the
toe.
the
Down
toes.
to the toes,
And it's
yes.
The rooter to the tutor. They
That
will-
too.
They'll take the blood.
Yes.
They'll stick you with the needles. They're going to do everything possible to find out if this is a physical disorder
Absolutely.
that's causing this anxiety. And if the doctor checks you off and say that there's nothing there,
Right.
then the last place you may want to think about is a psychological assessment.
Right.
And maybe you truly need to sit down with somebody
have.
Freudian like
Right.
who can give you the breakthrough that you need and diagnose it. It's a wonderful thing to put a label or a name to that disorder. Or
Then you know what to pray about.
Yes.
To just get it out my
that's
way.
right.
Right.
That's right. Exactly. That's what you want. Next slide,
Yes.
please. So, are there treatments? Well, we live in a different
talked-
world.
yes, yes.
There are two kingdoms. There's a kingdom of this world, and there's a kingdom of our God. We live in the kingdom of our God. So, if you would ask, are there treatments in the kingdom of our God? We would say
Says the
absolutely.
word. Yes, the word of God.
Yes,
Yes.
he said,
And we were saying this. You about to say it?
Yes, I will keep you in perfect peace
as what?
as
we
you keep our minds stayed on him.
Yes.
So we take the scriptures, we meditate on the
Absolutely.
scriptures,
Yes.
on the scriptures. I can't say that enough. Okay, so we meditate on that,
Yes.
and we study the word of God, and we shoot that word back to him.
Absolutely.
Give him back his word.
Give him back his
if
word.
he says that he will keep your mind to remember things forever and ever, then you tell him, remember when you
Yes.
said this and that word,
Yes.
that you'll keep me whole in that area. I'm counting on you to do that.
Amen.
But Coach D, then there's this world that we're just passing through.
Yeah,
We're just
and-
visiting. That's all.
And sometimes with these medications, because sometimes we can be so, like my apostle used to say, so heavenly minded, we're no earthly
Earthly
good.
good.
And we say, well, I'm not taking that medication. But who do you think created the doctor, gave them the skills to give you this medication?
Right.
But again, when they give you this medication, do your research.
right.
And
That's
find out
right.
what side effects is this medication going to have. But take the medication. But just know it's God who is healing you, who is, making you better,
Right.
and not the medication.
Because he may want to use the medication to bring you
Absolutely.
to a certain point, and then from there,
Absolutely.
release you and give you some good stuff, some
Amen.
heavenly stuff. But let's take a look at that
like that, some
slide.
heavenly stuff.
Okay, so when we're looking at medication, we're looking at possibly getting antidepressants. Oh, it's the slide before that. Antidepressants, certain anticonvulsants, low dose antipsychotics. I mean, this is
Wow.
dangerous. So you can see to the left that if you control it, if you take it
Yes.
the way it's supposed to be taken, then it will balance out your internal person,
Absolutely.
and give you the satisfaction and the ease and peace that you need. But if you see that lower right level, if you're taking it uncontrolled and you're mixing it with other
Yes,
drugs, whether
yes.
they're over the counter or prescribed, then you're going to have a different kind of effect. So you've got to be responsible if you're going to get medications assigned to you.
Absolutely.
Next slide, please. There are psychotherapy treatments, and these treatments have to do with the emotional response or the mental illness that you may get diagnosed with. And it is a process in which trained mental health professionals, to include life coaches, and they are just as serious.
Yes.
Their profession is just as serious as your psychiatrist, your psychologist, and
Absolutely.
any of the traditional counselors that you have out there. They will help you through talking. Yes.
That is so important, talking through it. And then the thing too is, if you don't go to any of these professionals, all of us, I think, should have a sounding board.
Yes.
Somebody
Yes.
who we look up to, a mentor, a pastor, that we can go talk to. I think it's the beginning stages.
Right.
And then, if it's where you're talking to them and at least you're, what do you call it? I'm acknowledging
Right.
that something is
That's the
happening here.
first
The
stage.
first stage.
Yes.
Instead of denial, I'm acknowledging something's happening. Then go see these
Right.
professionals.
Exactly. I agree. I agree. They have different tools and
Absolutely.
strategies to help you
Absolutely.
break through. I believe cognitive behavioral therapy is the next slide. And this is psychotherapy where you learn to recognize what's going on and you acknowledge
Yes,
and you
yes.
put some behaviors in place to change. And I often think about myself when I do this too. Okay,
Yes.
Tracy, don't get upset.
Oh my
All right,
gosh.
stop
Yes.
and really think about what's happening to you. But let's
Absolutely.
go through quickly a couple of more of the treatments because I'm excited about your segment. I can't wait to get there and tie these two together.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We want to look at dietary and lifestyle changes, and that's where nutrition plays a part in this, but also who you're having relationships with, families,
Absolutely.
friends, the environment around you, what you're doing with your body, because you could have headaches because you're not drinking enough water.
Drinking enough water, you're not eating, you're not sleeping.
Yes.
Oh yes, all of it. You see, there's a direct correlation between everything we do.
Do everything.
Every little thing.
Yes.
And every little thing is you can prevention.
Right, exactly.
You just have to know those things.
That's right. Next slide is the relaxation therapy. I like this one. I don't like things that sound spooky and
Me either.
spiritual. I don't want to talk about. I don't even want to be around that kind of stuff. But when I see this, it's very simplistic. I love music. I love all
Oh my gosh.
kinds of sounds.
Yes.
And so I can throw on a piece of music and listen for months that will help
But
calm
music
me.
is my therapy. That's why I turn music and working out. Those are the two that helps me. It used to be food at one point, but not to a point where it's just like, oh my gosh, you're being a glutton or anything.
Right.
But I like music and working out.
Okay,
It's just my
okay.
therapy. My therapy.
Well, let's look at the next one. Can anxiety disorders be prevented? And I think we kind of cover that. You can stop or reduce consumption of products that contain caffeine, like coffee, teas, colas, the energy
Yes.
drinks, and maybe some of the food items that you
Certain
eat too.
chocolates.
Yes, and I would also say during your testing with the different physicians, test for allergies
Yes.
that are in food items that are causing you
Yeah,
to.
just like the one that a lot of people is the what's the wheat product?
Oh, the
gluten.
gluten.
Yes,
Mhm,
it should be the gluten. It
That's
could be
right.
that too.
That's right.
So
I didn't realize that wheat bread that I'm thinking I'm supposed to be eating because I'm diabetic too is going to help me regulate that range. No, it has gluten in it. Oh my gosh.
Look for the foods. I always say brown foods, 100%, and then look for people sometimes didn't know the terms of gluten, different terms of sugar and everything is. Just read those labels, know what's in there, and then look for low glycemic. The ones that says low glycemic, good for diabetics. And I believe you should eat like a diabetic. Even
Okay,
if you're
yes.
not diabetic, eat like a diabetic.
Okay, hello. The older you get.
Yes, tell me about it, girl.
You want to talk to your pharmacist and your doctor too about what you are buying over the counter and what's prescribed to you, because you don't want them to have interactions and
Absolutely.
reactions in you. Okay, and the last thing, you want to seek the counseling and support like we talked about. Even going to those group
Right.
therapies.
Oh, that's helpful.
Because sometimes people just don't want to know folks who know them when they're talking about their
It's
business.
embarrassing, and then that could be more anxiety.
That's right. That's right. And so then, I'm, again, Tracy Everette Duncan, and I presented that piece of the physical health to you, and you can reach me in social media through MentorMe 411 at Twitter. There's my website. And the YouTube. Connect with us on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. And then if you want to talk to me over social media, just hashtag me at MentorMe 411 and I will respond. So I want to thank you for tuning in to me, and I'm going to turn this segment now over to our very own Coach D.
All right. So this was interesting. I really enjoyed the first segment talking about the anxiety attacks. I really enjoyed it. And you're just seeing that these two shows are going to, these segments are just going to this
Connect.
mesh in.
Yes, I love
like,
it.
wait a minute, it's going to run right into each other. Run right into each other. All right. So I know the first screen, I always have my disclaimer. The same disclaimer until I'm led to change it. But my
Okay.
disclaimer is that the purpose is to build a solid foundation for the future physical health segments to come to bring awareness, give you knowledge, to get you thinking. These points, hey, you can say, hey, whatever. It's up to you. Subjective, objective, you choose. I'm on assignment. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do.
All
so
right.
my job is to admonish you to take care of your health, your heart, and your life. Because only you know
That's right.
what's going on, truthfully, right?
That's right.
All right, so the first one is we all know that optimum health, heart health, we need to eat a healthy diet. We talked about that, not just a healthy diet. Well, we'll break into it. Exercise, drink plenty of water, reduce your stress, get plenty of rest, yada, yada, yada,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
So, however, did you know that these little things, the little things that we do every day can be have a big impact on the most important muscle in our body. You guessed it, your heart, right? Some of those things that we're doing and we're thinking, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, it's just temporary. No. All right, so we talked about nutrition. Let me see the next slide. So we talked about nutrition. If you don't know what to eat, you don't have a nutritionist, I say do your research. My plate can be a start.
Okay.
This is a reminder because I've put this slide before, but nutrition. And when I talk about nutrition, I always talk about nutrient density. Means it's packed with those vitamins and minerals and things that we need.
Okay.
And it's like knowing your body. We talked about gluten-free, knowing that if I eat this certain food, how do I feel?
Right.
So when I talk about nutrient dense, I'm talking about your proteins, I'm talking about your simple carbs, and I'm talking about making sure that you have a fruit or you have a veggie.
Okay.
And have those balanced meals. So it's not just, oh, I'm eating good food, but clean food, how much of it, how often are you eating? All right, so let's go. So my plate is a good start.
Okay.
And, gives you some ideas of what to do. Then we talked about exercise. So these are reminder, guys, if you've been following the show, which I really hope you have, we talked about nutrition. So the next slide is talking about exercise. And we know that exercise makes the heart stronger,
Yes,
makes
it
you feel
does.
good about yourself.
really
right? It gives you
does.
that boost of confidence.
Clears that
right?
head.
Oh my gosh, really? Helps you to sleep better. Because we're going to talk about these 5 ugly habits. But it helps you to sleep better, keeps the heart, the blood pumping through. And even exercise can lower blood pressure, right? And it can help cure type 2 diabetes.
And help because
Type 2 diabetes.
my
Not type
doctor-
1 insulin. We're talking about type 2.
Type 2
Uh-huh.
can be controlled
Yes,
because my
controlled,
doctor,
yes.
she's so frustrated with me. I'm sorry.
What are you not
I said,
doing,
what?
Tracy? What are you
Hey,
not
hey. She said, I can tell you're not exercising because your diabetes, your range, and your A1C is not, lowering like it should. Okay, so
Absolutely.
I was thinking of all these stories to tell her.
But you just went on and said, okay, doc, you're
Let
right.
me
They
just be
know.
truthful.
Be
Yes, be
truthful. I'm
truthful.
telling you. And then it also can reduce your levels of LDL, and that's the lousy, the bad cholesterol. So I'm saying exercise does a body good.
Yes, it does.
Try to exercise at least 30 minutes a day. At least 30 minutes. Break it up in increments. If you cannot do a whole 30 minutes at one time, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes. If 10 minutes doesn't work, 5, 5, 5, 5. Just keep it moving.
And you
all right?
said too, and check out her videos on YouTube. You talked about making your everyday household cleaning a part of your exercise routine
Yes.
instead of going to the gyms. And
Did I post that somewhere?
No, you said it here. on
Oh,
the
okay. I
station.
was thinking, 'cause I just did a video of cleaning the
Okay.
house, and I thought, did I post that video already? But I was showing you simple things you can do
I
around your
can't
house.
wait till you
That is
post
an
it.
exercise. Oh my gosh, I was down on my hands and knees scrubbing the floor, but I was
Oh.
stretching,
Yes.
reaching, pulling it back. So it was intentional, not just haphazardly. I got to clean my house, but I made
Or-
it. It's going to be a workout. Yes, I'm telling you.
Post
House.
it.
I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it.
Okay.
So follow me. I'll give you some simple tips. All right. So the next slide, let's get into this one. And we're going to see how the anxiety, the heart and everything. So look at this. These are the 5. These 5 I picked. There are others, but this is how sometimes I can be guilty of number 1, number 2, and especially 3 and 5.
Okay.
Right?
All
So
right.
the first one is too much or too little sleep. You're like, what's that got to do with my heart? You don't floss regularly. I floss maybe once a month or
Yeah,
once a
that
year or
one
so.
kinda threw me.
See? And then impulsive bouts of anger.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh, that's always seeing your glass as half empty.
Okay.
Oh, it's going to be a bad day. I know because this happened. And then number 5, putting off going to the doctor.
That's a no.
Like me, are you guilty of any of these things.
Well, yeah.
And I always like to give you some encouragement. 3 John 1 and 2 says, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. So it's all in your hands.
That's right.
Right? So what are you going to do today? So the first one, let's go over the very first one. Too much or too little sleep. What do we mean by too little or too much sleep? So my hand is up.
Both
Getting
mine.
fewer than 5.
Yes.
Or you're getting more than 9 hours of sleep.
That's a catch up.
They might hurt your heart because both of these extremes elevate your blood pressure and your levels of stress hormones.
had
We talked about like
no
cortisol.
idea.
Yes, but think about it. Okay, so if I'm staying up all night, then I get to sleep and then I'm waking up like the other night. Now, if it's once in a while you do this, it's okay. But if this is something you do on a regular basis, it's going on and on and on and on. You have to be concerned about that. And think about how you feel. I want you after today, that when we go through these 5 ugly habits, that you start keeping a journal of what you're doing and how you're sleeping and just see how it's
And
affecting you and why.
why.
So I put a note here. Not getting enough sleep, it can affect your mood, your energy, your ability to handle stress, right? Some of these, and we talked about the disorders, narcolepsy,
Yes.
restless leg syndrome, sleep apnea, all of those, for those people who know that they have those disorders, I know doctors have told them things that they can do, but what if it's because we're stressed out? We have all poor, what's those 5 P's? We said, prior performance prevents poor. No, it says prior something. Guys, send it to us. What is
Mary
it again?
Kay
What is
said
it?
it.
What is it again? Poor performance. No. So poor something.
We're gonna
so you know
figure
what?
it out.
So my thing is just get it in order. Time management. Okay. So time management. If you don't get those things in order, you're rushing to do things and you're not
Prior
getting,
planning prevents poor performance. That's it.
Prior planning prevents poor performance. Get those. I need to get those P's in my system, right? So we look at this one. Women, and we can relate to this. Ages 45 to 65.
Okay.
It was a research done. Sleeping 5 or fewer hours each night. Now I told you it's okay sometimes, but every night you're getting fewer than 5 hours of sleep.
Guilty.
Increased their risk of coronary disease by 45%.
Wow.
That's a high number for me. And we know that heart disease is what? Number 1
Killer
of
among
women. Americans, but especially women. So think about these little things that we're doing. And it says when you ignoring all this, you're not sleeping right. Look what it can do. It can lead to poor health, weight gain, accidents, impaired job performance. Why am I not doing well? Why can't I focus? I can't, because you're not getting enough sleep.
That's
all right.
right.
So one of the tips we say is see your doctor about some long-term sleep solutions that could help you. And what are some of those?
Well, okay, now I'm thinking the over-the-counter medication, they have some medication now
The
that
sleeping stuff,
Now that's what I'm just thinking, that some people are
Yeah.
taking that to gently pull them into a slumber.
But think about that. You're going to start becoming dependent on it, and you're going to need that to sleep. Who wants that? You're going to get to a point. I mean, I'm not knocking anyone. I'm here to bring you solutions, is what I'm doing. But when you keep taking that over and over and over, your body becomes dependent on it. It's just like, okay, you may think this, this is so gross. Why is she talking about it? Laxative. My doctor tells me do not take those laxatives on a regular basis because then your system's going to get used to it and you're not going to be able to go to the bathroom until you take those things. So, guys, I'm saying if sometimes, I got to take a over-the-counter sleep agent. Okay, that's what you're going to do. Do it, but don't become dependent on it. All right?
But then remember what we talked about in the first segment about relaxation being a technique and all the other techniques too. I mean, you can try those things.
You can try that. Please try it.
Yes.
Please try it. So I have a tip. Again, I said talk to your doctor. Now, what you could do, some of the things, long-term sleep solutions, you can keep a sleep record, keep track of it, and I do that through my Fitbit. I'm a Fitbit girl, so through my Fitbit, it's amazing.
I'm
because
not.
Let me tell you something. My Fitbit, it tells me like I went to sleep. So I went to bed at 10. And I got up at 5, so that's about 7 hours of sleep, right? Oh no, my Fitbit said it tells me out how many times I was restless. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. And how many times I slept. I have more restless than it is that I was asleep. And I'm just like, and I asked my husband, do I toss and turn? He said, you toss and turn a lot. You know what it is?
Wow.
Before I went to bed, I didn't clear my mind. You know, I went straight to bed with all the cares of the world when he says, cast every care on me. But I went to bed and it's like I'm thinking about the next day. That's on my brain.
Coach
because
D.
I'm like, tomorrow I have this and this to do. But he said, but don't worry about tomorrow, right? We can only be concerned about today. So,
let me tell you, I don't have a Fitbit. I have an app that will track me in my sleep. I have
what did yours
found,
say?
oh man, I tell you, I have
Oh, my
awakened
gosh.
so much throughout the night. Movements. I talk in my
Oh,
sleep.
my gosh.
Because my brain is constantly
Yes,
going. You
yes.
know, when I get up,
and that's the thing with
I'm
us as leaders,
exhausted.
we're thinkers, but we need to know how to calm our mind
Shut
and
it down.
shut it down. Oh my gosh, shut it down.
Okay.
We're speaking to ourselves, but yet we're telling you as well.
Yes.
All right, and then set aside enough time for sleep. It's about that planning. Those 5
Right.
P's. Plan your sleep.
That's right.
You have to.
That-
and then
yeah.
another one is keep your bedroom dark.
Oh,
Turn
yes.
off those smartphones
Yes.
and audio visual things. Keep your room. You got to sleep. Oh, he's telling us.
And don't turn your light on when you're going to the restroom because it triggers the gene inside your head that says, "Oh, it's morning time,"
Yes.
and then you can't get back to sleep again.
And don't drink too much water before going to bed because it's going to have you back and forth going to the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm just speaking
All
from
right.
experience, okay? And then a psalm that I left for you. I will both lay me down in peace and
Yes.
sleep. For thou, Lord, only maketh me dwell in safety. So get
Okay.
your rest.
All
We're
right.
moving on. So here, he's moving us ahead because I think our time is running out. But I want to talk about the flossing. So the one
Okay.
thing about the flossing, we'll get to this one, but the flossing, now that one you said got you, right?
Yeah.
Number 2, flossing. Oh my gosh. But it's a direct correlation between the gum disease and your heart. Because the one thing is with the inflammation in your gums, what it's going to do is it's going to enter the bacteria to enter to your mouth, blood vessels, travel into the coronary arteries, narrow their passages, which is plaque buildup, which is atherosclerosis,
Wow.
heart attack, stroke, all those kind of things. This reduces blood flow, which can hurt your heart.
Wow.
All right. So set aside some time, right, to floss,
floss.
brush your teeth, change your toothbrush every 3 months, see your dentist. All right. 3, impulsive bouts of anger.
Woo!
Do you, like me, sometimes fly off the handle when you're driving in traffic?
I won't say. Plead the
I'm gonna
fifth.
be honest. That is me. Now I do it in the car. I don't go at the person because I don't want to die and that person coming after me, right,
Right.
and beating me up and whatever it is. But I'm in my car saying, "Why did you jump in front of me? And now you're driving slow." I need deliverance, and I'm just honest with that one. I'm confessing it. I need deliverance. So if I'm going somewhere, I have my husband drive. He is the most common. I mean, calm person I know when driving. He's
Okay.
nice. He let people get in front of him. He goes. I said, "You're so nice because help me," right?
He's the one I'm beeping at.
All right, so I'm looking at this. Now, there's a disease, a disorder now called intermittent explosive disorder.
Ooh, explosive.
Okay, so that was the one I said about impulsive bouts of anger. But let me tell you something here. Road rage,
Okay.
domestic abuse, throwing things around. These are signs of IED. What did I just say? Intermittent explosive disorder. And I think of the road rage. And then about people who do all these abuse things here. And then think about your blood pressure. All right? So moderate anger, I know, can be it's healthy for you. It could be a good a way of releasing your tension versus that explosive chronic
Right.
bouts of rage that can increase your risk of heart
That's right.
disease. So think about that one. So some tips. What I do now is I breathe. I go, but I'm like, it's okay. Let them go in front of you. Be nice. Show kindness. That's it, Tracy. That is it.
That's what I do.
Yes. And I do that while I'm driving. I'm like, calm down. Then I turn my music on.
Yes.
Not the hype music where I'm like, I turn to the calming. Like, it's
Right.
going to be okay. And then I say, leave early. Leave 20 minutes, 30 minutes before your time, where if it's traffic, people trying to cut you off, whatever, you're over in the slow lane and you're taking your time and you're driving in. Now, I did my own experiment. I left an hour before I had to be somewhere. I drove the speed limit, stayed over in that far right lane. Oh, that was a peaceful drive for me.
Wow. And then when you got there, you got to
Oh
rest
my God,
even
I got
more.
to rest even more.
Yeah. Exactly.
Baby, move it. And then you look over. Hey, Coach D.
Oh, yes.
So I know the slide he had up there was National Stress Awareness Month. That's this month of April. So we know that chronic stress puts your health at risk.
Yes.
Okay. Chronic stress can wreak havoc on your mind and your body. Take steps to control your stress. So I put a few down there. Recognize that you don't have control and let it go. You don't have control of that person jumping in front of you. You don't
Right.
have control over that assignment that you had together. You're ready to present it, and then the boss says we're going to switch it. That's not going to happen.
Right.
I need you to talk about this, but you weren't prepared for that one. So
And you have 8 hours to get prepared.
what?
Hello.
Don't get anxious about situations that you cannot change. We have to realize that one. My son, we pour into our children. So my son now is a young adult, and he just tells me, Mom, it's not all that serious. And I said, thank you, honey, for bringing me down. Develop a vision of healthy living, wellness, and personal growth, and set realistic goals to help you realize your vision.
Right.
Take time to unwind.
Right.
Take time. Like you said, you like music, any kind of music. Take time to just listen to that music. And that's going to help you. Find out what your stress release mechanism or whatever it is.
It could be just sitting in your backyard listening to the crickets or
Absolutely.
the birds or
Absolutely.
just nature.
Yes, just nature. Find out what helps you and do it.
Right.
And then stress happens. Sometimes it's avoidable, and at times it's not. It's life, right? Such as life. All right, so number 4, always, always, always seeing your glass as half empty as opposed to half full. But look on the bright side. Isn't it just about improving your mental state? It's also protecting your heart. Now, there was a issue of the American Heart Association's journal called the Circulation, and researchers found that not only did optimism seem to protect against heart disease and death, but also that pessimism seemed to increase the risk.
Ooh.
Because when you think about it, that could lead to depression. You're
Yes.
just sad all the time. Again, anxiety.
That's right.
Right? All kind of things can happen when you just seeing it negatively, as opposed to let me find the good in this situation.
And it doesn't have to be a big good. It could be a very
little-
small thing,
Now,
a
let me tell-
mustard seed side of
Mustard
good.
seed. You said it. That's a mouthful. And you know how big a mustard seed is. If anyone, do your research. A mustard seed is really, really
Small.
tiny. Yes. But just that little things can help improve
Right.
it. So one thing I say is for the tip that can help you is you can actually become a more positive person if you work at it. So even if you see it's negative, you're going to say, know what? I'm going to make today. Give me this day my daily bread, and I'm going to make this a good day. It may look negative, but you know what? Oh, you can wake up already saying, today's going to be a good day.
Right.
Today is, no matter what happens, today is going to be a good day.
So as a matter of fact, say it right now.
That's right.
For the rest of this day, it's going to be a good
Today
day.
is going to be a good day. And I said, I woke up, I said, Lord, I'm in expectation. Whatever you have in store for me, I'm ready to receive
Right.
it. But I was into Yolanda Adams was, I'm not gonna say was, but she's one of my favorite artists. And she had a song, I forget the name of the song, it got me through college. Oh, got me through college.
Okay.
I wanted to give up and quit, but I kept listening to the song. But it was just like, Lord, prepare my heart and my mind for what you have in store for me. So I always say that Lord, this is the day that you have made for me to rejoice, right?
Right.
And I say, but you prepare me for what you have in store. No matter what it is, I may be expecting this, but then he says this, so just prepare me.
Right.
Right? I mean, oh, it's stressful, but he said he was not going to put more on me than I can bear.
Right. And the stress could be because you're fighting against
That's
him.
it.
Stop.
Oh,
Just
absolutely.
Give it up. You know,
Give it
he
up.
knows
Let-
what's
what do you say?
best.
Let go and let God. I know
God,
you. Oh,
that's
that's a
it.
cliche. No, but
Right.
let go and let
God.
Now, here's a proverb I'm leaving you with. Proverbs 17:22. A merry heart doeth good, like medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, happiness is medicine for your
Yes,
heart.
it is.
All right, last one. Putting off seeing your doctor. I don't need to see my doctor. Nothing's wrong with me. Well, it's about preventive maintenance.
That's right.
Right? You want to go and make sure that, like a lot of people who said that, they were feeling some kind of symptoms or what have you, they went to the doctor and found out they had a cancer, but they got it in the beginning. Go see your doctor.
That's right.
So here, access to quality health care. We know about Obamacare and everything else. Go get that. I mean, get insurance and go see your doctor. Don't let that be your hold up because you don't have, exactly. Because I don't have health insurance. Get health insurance. All right. So women should also be sure to alert their doctors of any changes in their menstrual periods. As certain conditions such as, what's PCOS? That's the polycystic ovary syndrome that can increase your heart of risk disease. I'm sorry, your risk of heart disease. Your heart risk disease.
Okay.
So your risk of heart disease, because of those, it's in the, it's in the blood, right? It's in the blood, and it's in that midsection. That's the area. It's that midsection you have to think about. Ovarian cysts, all those kind of things.
That's where we're most vulnerable.
Most vulnerable in those sections. All right. So the tips: set up a yearly reminder. They have all of these apps that can give you reminders.
Right.
You have calendars on your phone that you can schedule your yearly physical, right? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to go see your doctor. I tell everyone, go see any little thing. Oh, I was feeling this, but no, go see your doctor and let them tell you it was nothing, as opposed to you didn't go see them and it was something.
And if you're feeling anxious about doing that, then get a buddy and have the buddy. Be accountable to somebody when you're going to get yourself checked out.
Absolutely. So I want to leave you with the scripture. I always have to leave you with something positive. 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20. I love this one. It says, what? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own. So you don't belong to you. All right. So now that you know these, what are you going to do? I admonish you to start taking charge of your health, your heart, your life by following these simple steps. Getting the proper amount of sleep, daily flossing, controlling your anger, seeing your glass as half full and not half empty, and visiting your doctor. Your heart depends on it. It's simple, but it's how many of us are really going to do it?
Well, take one thing. One thing.
Oh, absolutely. One thing and just do it. Like the first one I'll do is getting my proper amount of sleep.
Well, okay.
Because I'm a night owl, if you want to say that, and I still get up early.
Well, I know, because when I'm on social media,
I'm on social media. And I'm like, go to
sleep?
bed, right? I'm like, go to bed, Dion. But sometimes it's like you have all these great ideas, and it's like you're staying up, and you just want to get them down on paper, record them,
get them started.
But the thing is, if we're not getting the sleep that we need, we're not eating the proper diet, we're not exercising, drinking water. Sometimes you may need supplementation. If you're not doing those things, you're doing a detriment to your body.
Right.
And then you're wondering, why am I not optimum? Why am I not performing at the level that I should be performing? Because you don't have the nutrients, you don't have the sleep, the water.
Not feeding the brain.
Not feeding the brain. Food it feeds your brain. So get the nutrients.
But you know what I'd like to see you add, if possible, and it's just my recommendation, cutting down on communication media. Because we talked about TV, and TV, some of the programs we're watching gets that heart to going. I mean, I love thrills.
Those programs,
I do too. And when they're running,
your heart is racing.
I'm running with them, you know.
But it's a TV show, but yet we're
the heart.
Yes.
So we need to really watch how much time we spend on social media and in the media.
Yes.
But also, summertime is coming, and people like to be frightened.
Yes.
And so they're going on these roller coasters and these rides.
Well, I'm guilty of that. I love those roller coasters. Fear and all, I get on those roller coasters. I love them.
Let me tell you, I got on a roller coaster before, and we were rolling, and I hit my head and knocked myself out. I didn't get off when they brought it in for the landing. I went back up on the roller coaster again.
They didn't see that you were left on there?
No, and my friends didn't say anything.
Oh my God.
you know what? This is great. We are going to come back next month and explore even more. So
Yes.
we want you to join us next Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our social health. William and Dwayne will be with us.
Oh,
but
wonderful.
between now and then, we want you to be safe, be smart,
Yes,
be
and
healthy.
be healthy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, guys. Hey!